What is going on, everybody? Kneeckoh back for another competitive Pokemon Moveset guide for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Today we are going to talk about Skeledirge, which honestly is a very fun Pokemon to use. There's a lot of different use cases for this Pokemon, and honestly it plays very similarly whether you play it over in VGC or if you play it over in singles OU. So you may see some overlap here in this video because I talk about both. Obviously, like if you watch my Quackable video, I did single battles first, VGC second, but there is truthfully quite a bit of overlay to these videos. But if this is your first time here on the channel, make sure you are subscribed for more Pokemon Scarlet and Violet videos like this. I got a team ready in game, so there's going to be battles in game coming as well, so check that out. But also check out the Discord where people over there hanging out playing Pokemon all the time. So now let's get into this. Okay, so like I said, I like to start off with single battles because a lot of people do enjoy playing single battles, and then I will have chapters in here so you guys can skip around. But Skeledirge, like I said, will have a lot of overlap because I feel like this Pokemon plays very similarly regardless of where you're playing it. So first up, the singles OU Skeledirge that I really enjoy using is Skeledirge with Torch Song, Shadow Ball, Will-O-Wisp, and Slack Off. Those are the three moves. So Torch Song, obviously, you're going to stack your special attack every time you land a hit. Shadow Ball is for coverage. Will-O-Wisp is going to make anything that is going to do physical damage a lot weaker. And then Slack Off gets your health back plus the leftovers. So you're constantly regaining that health. And that is super, super nice for this Pokemon because it's super beefy. With a 104 base HP stat, a 100 defense stat, and a 75 special defense at level 100. This is pretty bulky. It's pretty bulky. I like to max out the HP stat here. Max HP with 4 in special attack and 252 in special defense with a modest nature to give yourself a little bit of extra hit. Really like this particular setup with the ability Unaware, which is fantastic in single battles because of things like Shed Tail right now. You're able to ignore substitutes, which is huge. Absolutely huge. Being able to just completely ignore substitutes altogether. And this just ignores any stat changes in general, so I just really like how Unaware works on this Pokemon, especially in the current metagame. The next set is exactly the same. It's exactly the same set. However, I changed out the item for Heavy Duty Boots because this Pokemon does take a lot from Stealth Rocks, and if you don't get Defog or Rapid Spin off, you're going to take a pretty big hit. So I do like the Heavy Duty Boots because you still have Slack Off to make up for that extra health. I really like this particular set. It's the one I've been using the most in singles OU, and I think it's just really useful. However, this Pokemon does have access to quite a few different moves from different typings, and I think this is really fun because you can throw an Assault Vest on this thing, then max out its special attack instead of its special defense, and then you're looking at a very beefy offensive sweeper. And I really like this. Again, Torch Song, Shadow Ball, but then you throw on Earth Power as well as Terra Blast. And the Terra type that I really recommend, the other two are pretty much just fire. But for this one, I really think like a Water Terra typing would be fun. Literally anything to counter its weaknesses would be really interesting. Obviously, we don't want to change it to ground because we have Earth Power access. But changing it to something like a Water type would be fun to like knock out, Volcaronas are really big. Or knock out opposing fire type Pokemon like Arcanine. It's just a really good set, honestly. So in terms of single battles, the Pokemon that come to mind immediately that are going to work super well with Skeledirge are going to be the Pokemon that are just going to get rocked, absolutely rocked, by either fighting type attacks or fire type attacks. One, because fighting type attacks are simply not hitting Skeledirge because it's a ghost type. Very nice. But also the fire type attacks, Skeledirge eats those up. Just doesn't care. So Corviknight immediately comes to mind. Corviknight is getting a lot of play right now. Iron defense, body press, super good, or it gets access to defog. It's getting a lot of play right now. So Corviknight really makes sense to me in single battles. Scizor as well. Scizor is very good defensive typing, and its only weakness is fire typing. So being able to get Scizor rotated out and get Skeledirge in to take the hit, very nice. I'm actually using it with things like Wo-Chien on my team. Wo-Chien is very good for a Giga Drain Leech Seed set, but it does not like either fighting or fire types. So Skeledirge plays very well with it. Another Pokemon that's very similar to how Wo-Chien plays is Arboliva. Arboliva will work fantastically with Skeledirge. So those are a handful of Pokemon so you can start brainstorming ideas, or even Meowscarada would work very well with this Pokemon. So there's a handful of stuff that you can use in terms of pairing with Skeledirge for competitive play and singles. But that's really it for the singles stuff that I've messed with. I really enjoy the beefier set that Skeledirge can give you. I think it's just a super fun Pokemon in that regards. But moving into VGC, Moving into VGC. Now, again, you could run the leftover set. Like the first one we talked about over for singles, you could run that exact set. Leftovers, Unaware, Torch Song, Shadow Ball, Will-O-Wisp, and Slack Off. With the same EV spread, 252 HP, 4 special attack, and 252 special defense with a modest nature. You could run that exact same thing and have a lot of success in VGC. However, you could also run the Assault Vest set and have a lot of success in VGC. This Pokemon kind of translates super well back and forth. And I think instead of running Terra Blast for this particular Pokemon, running something like Snarl with an Assault Vest is a lot more beneficial. And I really like that particular setup for if you're going to run an AV Skeledirge. But then finally, the one that I've been using in VGC is Safety Goggles, Torch Song, Shadow Ball, Will-O-Wisp, and Slack Off, with 252 HP, 4 special attack, and 252 special defense. The safety goggles are super nice. You avoid getting put to sleep by a Moongus. You avoid any issues with Will-O-Wisp and stuff like that. You avoid terrain damage. It's just a very nice item to have on this Pokemon, especially for what you're using it for with the Will-O-Wisp and things of that nature. And it just hard counters a Moongus because you can't get spored. Very, very nice in that regard. And as far as teammates go for Skeledirge in VGC, I really just like to pair it with things that are kind of obvious, like Scizor is one that Scizor is getting a lot of use right now. It's got access to a lot of really fun stuff now that it has access to close combat. It's got Clear Amulet, avoiding taking any resistance, any stat changes. So it's really, really good even in VGC right now, which is a lot of fun. And that Pokemon will take a bad hit from fire. So switching in Skeledirge into that slot is super nice. Also, Corviknight is actually seeing some play in VGC right now, especially with the removal of Paradox Pokemon. So you're actually able to get Corviknight out and rotate Skeledirge in to take that hit. So there's a couple Pokemon, especially right now in the format, that you're able to pair very well with Skeledirge. And it kind of fills that Arcanine role with being bulky as well as a Will-O-Wisper, with also putting out massive damage. Obviously, Arcanine does some other things better, but this Pokemon does have that ability to switch in and do some pretty interesting stuff. So pairing it with things like Scizor or with Scizor or Corviknight, or even any dark types that you're running, you know, like Mabostiff is seeing some play, Mousehold is seeing some play. Fighting type moves do not affect Skeledirge. So that is a really nice option as well for making sure that you can save particular Pokemon through switch-ins. So that is going to be it for this video, guys. That's the breakdown. As I say in all these videos, this is not the only way to play this Pokemon. This is just the stuff that I've played with and I really enjoy using, and I'm trying to help people start brainstorming ideas to make teams with. So if you find something else, if you think something else is cool, leave it in the comments. Let me know. I want to see all this stuff so that way we can all work together to grow and better ourselves as Pokemon players. But that's it. If you found it entertaining and helpful, make sure you leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Be sure to check out the Discord, like I said at the top of the video. Check out Dubby, really good stuff. Throw it in some water, shake it up. It's delicious. 10% off with code Kneeckoh. And check out this video where I talk about quick ways to make money. This is super helpful for making teams in-game because you're going to have to burn through a lot of resources. And also check out my Quackwovel guide talking about all the ways that you can use Quackwovel when playing competitively. But like I said, that's it. I hope to see you all in the next one. Peace.